As you know, what we've been talking about, the slate is really good today. So we have reporters at all the biggest games with all the last-minute news and notes that you'll need to get ready for a huge day across the NFL. Let's kick things off, though, with the game that we've already been talking about. Jags, Chiefs. Our Jeff Darlington is there. Jeff, what's the latest from KC?
Well, Sam, I am very fortunate to be under a tent right now because it is dumping rain here at Arrowhead, expected to do so throughout the afternoon. We will have to see how that affects the Chiefs' offense and Patrick Mahomes, but I can tell you one thing that's guaranteed to affect him, and that is the Jaguars' #1 total scoring defense. Now, I spent time in Jacksonville this week. They were very complimentary of Mahomes, even saying as much as Doug Marrone, the head coach, saying, listen to this one, he's playing better than any quarterback that's ever played the game. I felt like it was a little strategic. They were really pumping him up. Ultimately, when I talked to Malik Jackson, he said, the key here is to contain Mahomes. We believe we have the fastest defense in the NFL, and we're capable of doing to him what no other defense has to date. This is going to be a very special matchup. I can't wait, Adam Schefter. Let's go back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Here with Chris Mortensen. There's a lot of news to get to, but first up, Mort is following another big storyline in that Chiefs-Jags game.
And with Leonard Fournette out and with that type of weather, the rain, if it stays true, it's an old-fashioned formula for the Jaguars on offense. What do? You try to keep the offense limited and keep them on the sidelines. And you do that with the mix of running backs, T.J. Yeldon and Corey Grant. A little more Corey Grant this week than he did last week when Fournette went out. And don't forget Brandon Wiles. But they're going to run the ball, try to keep that offense, and Patrick Mahomes on the sideline.
And more, some injury concerns for the Green Bay Packers wide receivers going into today's game. The good news is it looks like they're going to have Davante Adams, their #1 wide receiver, who is expected to play despite the fact that he missed some practice time this week with a calf injury. More clouded on Geronimo Allison, who remains in concussion protocol. But it looks like Adams is a go for today when they play the Detroit Lions. As for Lamar Miller and the Houston Texans are not overly optimistic that they'll have Miller tonight. If he cannot go, that means that Alfred Blue would start. Miller came out of the game at the end of last week. He's been battling what they're calling a chest injury, but it looks like tonight he could miss out on playing the Dallas Cowboys and one other running back, no Dalvin Cook. Vikings want to test him out pregame. Doesn't look promising right now due to that hamstring injury. But the Vikings will see whether or not he can go in that NFC Championship game rematch. All right, there's Baker Mayfield showing up in Cleveland for his first NFL home start against the Baltimore Ravens. Tough Ravens defense. Baker Mayfield in the house. More coming up on Countdown.
Wake up. This is Sunday. NFL Countdown.
I haven't been in the place where I feel like I can really go out and do everything that I'm capable of doing. I don't get 20 targets like some other receivers.
Coming up, Odell Beckham signs off on why the Giants' game plan can't get him the ball. And
I remember saying, Patrick, there is no future in football. You are a baseball player. Man, am I glad he didn't listen to me.
how A-Rod mentored a young Patrick Mahomes before he took the NFL by storm. Plus, how Jalen Ramsey will back up the trash talk today versus Tyreek Hill. Who has the edge when Antonio Brown and Julio Jones take flight? And why Kirk Cousins has a must-win game in today's NFC Championship rematch. And
You got Moss.
the best catches from all around the globe. Plus, beer fridges, babies, and possums. You can't miss the madness as Mayfield Mania returns to Cleveland today. All that and more coming up.
This is Sunday NFL Countdown.
Sunday NFL Countdown.
Wake up.
Watch me do this.
No job, no family. Just walk away. It's my number one fantasy.
Number one fantasy pick, Don.
David Johnson.
David Johnson. Good.
Great.
Snickers satisfies. First Man is the best movie of the year.
We're going to the moon.
Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin.
That is a big mother.
It'll be a hell of a ride.
We got a bad fire!
There's no easy way to say this. They're gone, Neil. We need you to be commander.
We need to fail down here so we don't fail up there.
What are the chances this is the last time the boys are going to see you?
5, 4, 3, 2.
First Man, rated PG-13.
How do you win at business? Stay at La Quinta, where we're changing with contemporary makeovers. Then use the ultimate power handshake, the upper hander, with a double palm grab. Who has the upper hand now? Start winning today. Book now at LQ.com.
We're more than just $7.99 large two-topping pizza delivered. We're that moment you realize you're raising her right. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
This is actually under your budget.
Yeah, when you move in, Geico could help you save on renter's insurance.
Yep, Geico helped me with renter's insurance too.
The rules seem a bit thin.
They are, and Craig practices the accordion every night.
Says the guy who sings karaoke by himself.
I'm a very shy singer.
You're tone deaf!
Shall we move on to the next one?
It's a great building. You'll love it here.
We have mixers every Thursday.
Geico. It's easy to switch and save on homeowners and renters insurance.
People would ask me in different countries that we traveled, what is your nationality? And I would always answer Hispanic. So when I got my Ancestry DNA results, it was a shocker. I'm everything. I'm from all nations. I would look at forms now and wonder, what do I mark? Because I'm everything, and I marked other.
Discover the story only your DNA can tell. Order your kit now at AncestryDNA.com.
The world is full of anchors, meant to keep you in place. But the good news is that it's also full of things that remind you not to let them. So every time you raise a Pacifico, let it be a reminder to live life anchors up.
Get ready for an all-new Auto Trader. Now with the power of Kelley Blue Book Price Advisor. So you can find a car at a fair price, faster. Shop all the cars like never before with the all-new Auto Trader.
Happy anniversary dinner, darling. Can this much love be cleaned by a little bit of Dawn Ultra? Oh, yeah. One bottle has the grease cleaning power of 3 bottles of the Souther liquid. A drop of Dawn and grease is gone.
Wondering how Mommy and Daddy keep it fresh? We're slingers.
You heard that right, boss. We sling.
Hey, kids. Want to sling with us?
The freedom is exhilarating.
Get live TV for $25 a month. Watch 7 days free.
Sunday NFL Countdown is presented by Snickers. You're off your game when you're hungry. Eat a Snickers. And in part by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Steelers holdout running back Le'Veon Bell plans to return during the Week 7 bye.
He feels that he's the missing piece right now to their 1-2-1 start.
I know people say it's a distraction, but we really don't look at it like that because we know it's part of the game. We just try to focus on the team. Le'Veon's not a new player here. We played with Le'Veon for several years. When he comes back, he'll be a second.
I have not talked to Le'Veon. Like I've said repeatedly, the best approach for us is to stay focused on the guys that are here and working. Nothing's changed from my perspective in that regard.
Oh, the drama. If Le'Veon Bell reports to the Steelers and signs his franchise tag in Week 7, this is how his salary breaks down for the rest of the season. He'll still get $9.4 million for the remaining 11 weeks, but will have lost over $5 million based on the 6 weeks he wasn't with the team. Adam Schefter is hanging out with us now to make all this make some sense for us, because I think there's a lot of confusion. We know the guy's trying to get paid. We get that. We get that it's about money. I think the timing of all of this is what's a little confusing. Can you help us understand?
Well, it's hard to make sense of something that doesn't make a lot of sense, but the reason that he would be coming back next week, aside from being paid, is he has to be back in time to get an accredited season this year. Now, if he comes back October 30th and the Steelers leave him on the exempt list and don't activate him for 2 weeks, which they could do, then he would ensure the fact that he could hit free agent status after this year. He collects his money. Again, keep in mind that he has not signed his franchise tender and could not be traded until he signs that franchise tender. And he cannot sign an extension this year because the deadline is passed. He cannot sign a new deal until after the season. The Steelers are still open to dealing him. He plans to come back in just over a week, according to Jeremy Fowler. And even if he comes back at that point in time, look, the Steelers play the Falcons today. That is not a layup. And they play at Cincinnati next week. By the time he gets back, it's possible that their season could almost be on the brink or over, depending on what happens the next 2 weeks. So it's a very difficult situation still fluid. There's not a team out there that's willing to trade for him right now, but we don't know what type of injuries any team is going to incur before the October 30th trade deadline.
Yeah, Rex, this wasn't a typical holdout situation because as we talked about on the show before, guys in the locker room were pretty vocal about their displeasure with all this. Guys talking about his money, all of that. He's coming back into what, I guess, putting it mildly, is an awkward situation. As a head coach, how do you handle it? What do you say to this guy when he shows back up if that happens?
Well, you hope to get an opportunity to talk to him privately, and then you can air out whatever your disagreements or whatever, just so you leave, on the same page where he understands you and you understand each other. But the acceptance that Mike Tomlin shows Le'Veon Bell is going to be important in the locker room, I think. And so, obviously you'd like to sit back, hey, let's put your arm around him and let's go. But is it going to solve all their problems? Even if he comes back, I don't think so, unless he can play both ways, because their defense can't stop anybody. Horrible. So, I don't know. It's interesting. The locker room generally handles all these type of things, whether it's a guy off a suspension, a holdout, whatever. And they're going to be the ones that accept this player back or not.
I believe that the locker room, everybody in helmets are going to be walking on eggshells because of the comments and things that were said this offseason. What Le'Veon Bell are they getting when he comes in? Is he coming to work or is he coming to collect the check? So, Coach, I would have to agree with you that you always hear me say this. It starts at the top. So the head coach, Mike Tomlin, he has 53 guys to lead each and every week. So it's up to him as the main guy in that office to bring everybody and put everybody on the same page. Because like you said, can Le'Veon Bell play both sides of the ball? So like I said, they're walking on eggshells there. It could be the littlest thing, one comment, one thing to set off, even in practice or in the game. So I think that Mike Tomlin's going to have to do a great job of bringing his team back down to reality to get them back focused on football.
Yeah, I think initially, there could be some tension, like you say, going into the locker room. But at the same time, look, we're all professionals. We're all here to do a job. I don't have to like you to go out there and do my job.
Right.
If I'm the offensive lineman, I'm out there trying to make a living just the way Le'Veon Bell is trying to make a living. So him coming back to the team, I don't think it'll be a distraction. But I think, to Randy's point, what happens down the line somewhere where, you're all together, maybe you're at a team function or you're out at the club or something, and everything's going well, the drinks are flowing, and somebody who's around you said, man, I don't like dudes talking about your money, man. I don't like that. And then all of a sudden the word is said and things snap, you know what I'm saying? And then you go back and forth that way. So I think it can be a tricky situation, but as far as guys, him coming back and being able to do his job, he's a heck of a player. He'll be able to do it. And the guys in the locker room, they'll be able to do their job too, and they'll get over it.
You heard the at the beginning with Pouncey, the center, saying, hey, I blocked for Le'Veon for so many years, so I'm welcoming him back with open arms. I wish the whole team was feeling like that, because just listening to some of the things that we heard throughout the summer, the whole team is not feeling like it. But when you have a leader in Pouncey to come out with a comment like that, it's just sad.
But that's recent. That was not his mindset during the year.
Yeah, you wish you would have said that earlier.
Back then.
Before some of those other things were said, that sort of poisoned the water a little bit and certainly changed the way things were viewed.
Yeah, I think a lot of it obviously depends on how some of those big name guys respond that first time he comes in the locker room with that, like you said, walking on eggshells, that awkward feeling. There will still be a lot to pay attention to, and I'm sure our Adam Schefter will be all over it to let us know. Bottom line is they got to be able to run the football out there today against the Falcons. All right, coming up on Countdown, hear from a starting quarterback right before he hits the field. You'll only see this here. Andy Dalton one-on-one with Diana Rossini right off the bus. Plus, Chief Jags Jalen Ramsey with a little trash talk against Tyreek Hill. Take a listen.
He made All-Pro as a return specialist. Let's get that right. As a return specialist. I made All-Pro in my position as a corner. It's not a wide receiver versus corner matchup.
What? When? How? Why?
Because. Use Old Spice.
She knows best.
Your business success starts with human resources that give you more. To provide comprehensive HR in one platform. Because incredible starts with human resources that know your business. Try it.
Everybody has sunglasses, but most sunglasses just make everything darker and are useless when